Hello, hello, hello. It's another superstar search, and we have a super duper star that you are going to be meeting tonight. This is Senior Director Bethany Benanati, and that's a lot of B's, but
Yes.
is a big B in Mary Kay. And I'm so excited to have you on, Bethany. Thank you so much for joining us this evening for Superstar Search.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm excited to connect with you again. This is going to be fun.
Oh, it's been way too long. Okay, so I'm going to go through some questions for Bethany and just kind of do like an interview style, although I know the answers to a lot of these questions. But I want y'all to get to know her and kind of see a perspective from a young mom, mother of three, and a wife to someone she actually put through medical school and was there through. And now he's a general surgeon, and that's Max. And they are just they are the epitome of the American family. But everything's not always so perfect, is it, Bethany?
No, not at all. We'll be celebrating 15 years this July. So if you think it's perfect for 15 years, nothing's perfect for 15 years. So by the grace of God, we are still growing strong. So we're thankful.
So, Bethany, we were just talking. Tell everybody, how did we meet?
Yeah, so I have moved three times with my business, and the first time I moved was from Pennsylvania to South Jersey. There is a South Jersey. I don't know if any Northeast people know it. I didn't know this, and I grew up in New York, but there's like two sections of New Jersey, and I was in the South part. And through Joanna's offspring sales directors, who I met out there, we met a couple of years after I had moved to New Jersey, and we started doing meetings together and events together, and just quickly clicked and have been friends ever since. So, I always say it's like the sisterhood that you don't expect, the family you don't expect when you are in Mary Kay. It's just incredible.
Uh,
So, yeah.
and Bethany had a real tragedy in her life right before she moved, and we all met her. And I think we all just surrounded you and became your moms. And so she
We
had
did.
she had the moms from that were born and raised in Jersey, and the moms who transplanted like me from the southeast, and everybody kind of
Right.
helping her and going along the way. And then with your
Mhm.
I remember with your first pregnancy, everybody's telling you what to do and how to do it and how to deal with it. And it was just it was so much fun. And I was kind of reliving some of those moments with my husband last night, and he said, yeah, I remember when
Aw.
you said, I don't think Max even wants to have kids. And you were like, that's not what. And so we were all kind of really mothering Bethany along the way. And that was so much fun. And so I'm very proud to have been a part of that. So, well, let me ask you some Mary Kay questions. How many cars in Mary Kay have you earned?
I have earned 7 cars, and we are currently in qualifications for our eighth free car.
Oh
So,
my gosh.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. And which
Yeah.
car are you in now?
We are right now I take the cash, but we are in a Chevy Equinox, taking the cash for a fancier third row vehicle because I've got young kids. There are 7, 4, almost 5, and then 2.5 years old. So yeah, and it's the first time I've ever taken cash, and it's kind of fun to be able to go car shopping. It was also like scary because I haven't forever, thanks to Mary Kay, but it was kind of cool to see what's out there. I'm like, I didn't even cars could do this. I didn't know this. Like, so it's been fun. But the next car, Lord willing, will be a Cadillac XT6, and that will fit all the children. And so then we'll be back in a Mary Kay car. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Just for our guests who are watching, in Mary Kay, we have a
Yeah.
lot of different car levels, and my unit is currently an XT6 Cadillac unit, and I am driving a third row Cadillac, and I don't have little ones at home. But I'm telling you, I can pack that thing everywhere I go. I can pack it up, and you get so spoiled. But
Right.
a long time there, I took the cash, and for a Cadillac, you get $900 a month, and people would go, why would you ever take the car if you get $900 a month? And I'm like, because it's fun and it's pink and it's awesome. But we have so much fun in that car, and to have that third row, it is fabulous. But Mary Kay does give you the option of taking the cash. So comment below. Every time you comment, you go into a drawing for lots of fun little prizes. So comment below. If you were to earn a Mary Kay car, would you take the cash or would you take the car? Which would you take? I know, because you can go back and forth. Every 2 years, we earn a new car in Mary Kay. So that way it never really gets dirty. It's great now.
Right.
All right. So Bethany, you have been paid very well by Mary Kay. So what was your highest month that you can just remember off the top of your head? What's one of your highest months that you've ever had in Mary Kay that you earned in commissions with or without your sales?
Yeah, this is without sales, but it was over $9,200. Yeah, that was fun.
Before Mary Kay, you were a school teacher. So was that a little bit more than you were making as a
Oh yeah. Really, we just got like our 1099s, and I'm looking, I'm like, I'm still making more than I did as a teacher. First of all, you don't go into teaching to make money, but yeah.
Okay, so Bethany just shared her highest check, and that was without her sales even. And so Bethany, tell me real quick, like, what do you average in sales per month, even after moving and all of that? Because we have no territories in Mary Kay. So when you move, you don't have customers. So what's like about your average that you make in sales each month?
Between like 2,000 and 2,500, that would be like reorder business. So I can plan on that, and then give or take, depending on how many parties I'm holding and, what time of year it is. The holidays are a really big time, and we're getting up on another big time with, Mother's Day and all kinds of other things coming up. So, but yeah.
That's great. That's great. And that's building a strong customer base. So that's wonderful. So I want you to comment below. What would you do with an extra $100, $200, $1,000 a month? What would you do with that? Would you go on vacation? Would you save it? I wouldn't save it. Would you buy new shoes? Would you get your nails done? Would you get a spa treatment? Would you go on a girls' weekend? What would you do? With just, if you had like an extra $100, $200, $500, $1,000 in a month, what would you do? A lot of people do different things. Okay, so tell us, you've moved 3 times with your business. Tell us about where you live now and how do you work your business virtually?
Yeah, so we live in Wilmington, North Carolina now. That is on the coast of North Carolina. So close to the beach. The beach is a special place in my heart. So love living here. And virtually has been, it was scary when it first happened because that wasn't the way. I've been in Mary Kay 12 and a half years. So that wasn't the way I was taught 12 and a half years ago when I came in, but it's turned out to be such a blessing, such a blessing. I'm tucking my kids into bed every night. I'm, doing things in the middle of the day from my home. Well, I've got 2 kids that are taking naps right now. And so I just really feel like the virtual business has it made the Mary Kay opportunity even more attractive for a young mom, with young kids, because you really, really can work it around your family without even having to leave your house. And I love that. I'm loving it. Yeah.
So how did you find Mary Kay, or how did Mary Kay find you?
Ooh, so this is kind of funny. So I have been using the product since I was 13. My aunt gave them to me for my birthday. And I wasn't excited at the age of 13 to get a cleanser and a moisturizer, but she got me on good skincare early. And so that's what I used all through high school and college. I paid for it myself. I'm oldest child, so very like fiercely independent, right? I didn't ask for money for anything. I was always working. But so I appreciated the product and I knew it was good. And so when I was teaching 5th grade full time and then going to school at night to get my master's in reading, during that time, my aunt asked if I'd host a Mary Kay party for her with like my teacher friends. She was going to drive an hour and a half from New York into Pennsylvania. We were living in Scranton. I don't know if there's any like Office fans. If you're an Office fan, like put an Office, like, and it's so sad it's not on Netflix anymore. Oh my goodness. Like, I can't get, I'm not sick. I would never get sick of it. I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she came out and did this party, and she wanted to recruit my friend Ashley there. Not the Ashley you know, Joanna, but a different Ashley. And she never, ever, ever considered me doing Mary Kay. And honestly, I had never, ever considered me doing Mary Kay either. And I said, well, maybe I want to do this. And we were both shocked that I even said that. But what I saw was that she profited over 200 bucks, profited in like an hour and a half. It appeared to be legal. It seemed to be okay that she did it this way, right? And I was married to a medical student at the time. So we were newlyweds, only married a year, or 2 years maybe at that point. And yeah, it was all loans for him. And then my little teaching salary, plus I'm getting my master's. So we're paying for that. And I joined for dinner. I love food. I love going out to eat. And so I thought, if I can make an extra 200 bucks, like I just saw Aunt Audrey do, if I can do that once a month, that's like, we can go out to dinner several times. Maybe we could go see a baseball game. We're Mets fans. And that was my big dream when I joined. I had no idea what was in store for me. There are so many surprises, but that's where Mary Kay found me. I was scared. I didn't tell anybody. I joined for 3 weeks because I thought I would lose friends. They'd run away from me. Very least likely to succeed. But we're still here. And so God has a funny sense of humor, and here we are. So
If you want to make God laugh, make a plan. Okay.
Right.
Well, and my story is so much like yours in that I was a school teacher as well. I think you remember this. And my mother drove 4 hours to come visit us at Fort Stewart, Georgia, and said, if you will let me do a Mary Kay party, because she was a Mary Kay consultant. She had just started her business. She said, I will take you to the all-you-can-eat crab legs place.
I did not know that part of the story. That's funny.
Motivated by food. That's good. Yes. We're like good puppies. We're motivated by food.
Right.
And then she brought me into the business, and I never looked back. Okay, so you already said how long you've been married. Tell us a little bit about your little ones and how they've come into the Mary Kay world. Probably came home in a Mary Kay car.
Yeah. So it's my oldest. He is 7. He's in 2nd grade, and he came home in a pink Cadillac. I actually earned my first pink Cadillac a week pregnant with him. I didn't even know. But, so that was kind of exciting as we're waiting for the car to get delivered. All of a sudden I'm showing and realizing, oh my goodness, this baby is coming home in a pink Cadillac. So that was really fun. He's super tall. He's super sweet. Very, I love my Caleb. And then we've got Asher, and he is the epitome of a middle child. He is a sparkler. He loves attention. He, just notice Asher, like he is just that kid, and he doesn't mind if you notice him. So he is a lot of fun, and he's going to be 5 in a couple of weeks in March. And yeah, and that's Asher James, and Asher means happy and blessed. It totally fits him. And then we've got our Ruby Nicole. She is my 2.5-year-old, and she is named after my mom. So my mom passed away of breast cancer 10 years ago. Her middle name was Ruby. Her first name, not Ruby. It was this awful old Dutch name called Rulafia, and obviously she didn't go by that. So she only knew herself as Ruby. Everyone else knew her as Ruby. And yeah, I knew that if I were ever blessed with a little girl, I'd want her to have that name. And so that's who we have now as our little Ruby. So yeah.
Oh, that's fun. And what effect, it's probably going to be more with your oldest, with Caleb, than anyone, but what effect do you think you having your Mary Kay business and having that flexibility and being around your kids, what effect has that had on just them being Mary Kay kids?
Yeah. So they, it's almost like not a question going on at school or something that they want me to be a part of. There's just no question that I can be there. And so I'm there. And sometimes I think they might take that for granted, but Caleb, especially my oldest, is starting to see that not everyone has that, situation. And I've got to say, I mean, I'm looking across the other side of my office, and there are all these pictures that I will not take down, because they're pictures of, mommy in a pink Cadillac, and it says the car, yay. And then there is a picture of Elf, like Will Ferrell Elf, like Caleb drew him, and it says, "Go Bethany, go." And when he tapes these things up, he doesn't ask me, he just tapes them up all over my walls and on my doors. And when he did the Elf one, he brought me and he was surprised. He goes, "Do you like it?" And I said, "I love it." And he goes, "Does it encourage you?" And I said, "It does." And so, encouragement is a huge part of our culture in Mary Kay. It's a huge part of how we interact with each other. I mean, Joanna and I are not in the same Mary Kay, downline, if you want to call it that. But we're not competitive with each other. We really do support one another. And he sees that, he sees that in the interactions that I have with other consultants and directors. And I thought that was really amazing that was something he picked up on, was, the encouraging word, writing something down and asking if it encouraged me. It was so sweet.
I love that. And then I saw that you posted on Facebook that you got to take a break in the middle of your day just to hold Ruby as she took her nap. And I was like, oh, I remember those days. I mean, yeah, that was just so sweet. And
Yeah.
Can you imagine if you were still in the classroom? Those are just so many moments you would have missed.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought when I went into teaching, I thought I'd be in it forever. I was thinking 30, 35 years. Like, I still am passionate about education. Don't get me going on like education right now. But I guess I'm more passionate about being with my kids now and my family and having flexibility. And that really all shifted before I had kids. It shifted when my mom got sick with breast cancer. And she just kept on getting sicker and sicker, and it kept on spreading. And at the time I was still in the classroom. I was teaching in Philadelphia, and it was the worst teaching job I ever had. I wasn't really teaching at that point. And so it wasn't super hard to walk away from, except for the money, and Mary Kay was providing that. And after my mom passed away, I just looked back and saw, wow, I just had 3 months with my mom in New York that I forget. If I were teaching, if I didn't have the Mary Kay option, I would have missed all of that time with her. And I was 26 years old at the time. And I thought there's going to be more life ahead where I'm going to want this flexibility. Lord willing, we'll have kids, and there's just going to be other things that I'm going to want to be able to put before my career. And Mary Kay has that culture of putting God first, family second, career third. And, the company, corporate down in Dallas, Texas, supported me being with my mom. They encouraged it. And so, I always tell people, like, when I joined Mary Kay, it wasn't for that. It wasn't to replace my income. It wasn't, my mom wasn't dying of cancer when I joined Mary Kay. But I'm so glad I joined when I did, because it gave me choices later on that I didn't know I would need. And so, if you've got that little inkling, just try it. Just try. I mean, we'll be sharing more later as to what trying it looks like. But yeah, it's totally worth trying.
You never know. I always say you never know what's in that box.
Right.
It could be hair and nail money. It could be staying home with your children. You never know. Okay, so I want you to comment below what your life would look like if you had the flexibility that we have in Mary Kay. If you could design your own life, because I have actually watched Bethany alongside her wonderful husband Max design her life. And I see her postings and her Instagrams, and I'm going for a run today, and here's the view I've got today, and I'm at the beach today with my kids playing, and she's literally designing her life. And we don't like to say that money is the end all. Money buys choices. And those choices are a private school education for her son. It is being home with her 2 little ones. It is saying, let's take an afternoon and go to the beach. and not having to ask a boss for that time off. So comment below and tell us, what would you do if you could design your own life? What would that look like to you? We would love to know what that would look like. So Bethany, I've just got a couple more questions. I don't want to take up much more of your time. I know that they're sleeping, but what surprised you the most? Like, just either in the beginning or last week, what has surprised you the most about your Mary Kay business?
Yeah. So, like I said, I didn't tell anybody I joined for 3 weeks because I was so afraid of sales, so afraid of, having to be pushy and I feel like people are obligated to things. I mean, that my view of sales was, flashback to Little League and getting the box of chocolates. And my parents would drop me off at the bowling alley where my grandparents were avid bowlers. And I would have to like walk down the lanes, right? And there are all these smoking people, and this is like, before there was no smoking, indoors. And I'm like, and they're like, "What are you selling, little girl?" And I'd be like, "You don't have to buy if you don't want to." I mean, that's what I thought Mary Kay was probably going to be like, So I was very scared of sales, and I was really surprised when I had my first party, and I was scared to death. First party by myself. We have a flip chart. Thank God for the flip chart, because you don't know what you're gonna say. And I was hiding behind the flip chart and shaking, and my voice was cracking, and I was ready to cry at any moment. And I thought, I am 4 years old. These women are in their 40s and 50s. What am I going to tell them about wrinkles? Like, they are not going to take me seriously, right? I mean, I just had so low confidence. And at the end, they bought $515 worth. And I thought, well, that for sure was not because of my performance. Like, that for sure had nothing to do with me, because I was a hot mess. Like, I was making everyone feel really awkward here. But the product sold itself. And I was surprised that it really is a show and tell kind of situation. You just show and tell about the product. The product is that great. And then I also was surprised that it's actually kind of fun to sell. It's kind of fun to give people something that makes them feel good. It's not like, I don't know. I just had this very negative view of sales. And now it's just like, well, you know what? I want to buy stuff. I want people to have things available for me to purchase. Like, I'd be really upset if the grocery store stopped carrying food. I'd be upset if somebody, if I were not able to get my makeup and not able to get my skincare and everything. And so it's actually really fun to provide a product and provide a service that blesses other people and helps build their confidence and helps build their, self-esteem and their fun. So yeah, that was a big surprise for me, that shift. And it happened early, and I'm honestly still surprised by it.
And you got over being a hot mess, but we still have a lot of fun. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Love it. And, that's something that I would love for you to comment about below, guest, is that, what would be your greatest fear? Because Bethany has said, I didn't want to sell to my friends. I didn't want to be pushy. And then she went into to offer a product that people are using, to have in stock something they can get right away, to offer that great customer service. And so to have that shift, and when you're looking at the pros and cons of starting your own Mary Kay side hustle, what are your fears? Like, what would you go, oh my gosh, but what if? How do I? We want to know that, because this helps us address those questions and those challenges for you and for other people who might ask those same things. So please post below, what do you think your biggest challenge would be? And something that I wanted to kind of point out too is, notice Bethany was not happy at the school she was at, but she always thought she'd be teaching. I always thought I would teach. I mean, I thought this was my lifelong profession. I come from a long line of teachers, and this is what I'm going to do. And when Mary Kay dropped into my lap, and then I got pregnant with my daughter and actually earned my Mary Kay card on September 11th, 1992. And that afternoon gave birth to my daughter. That was, I would never have thought when I signed that agreement and got that little box and opened it up and started talking to my friends about, I got this crazy product. If you want it, let me know. My sales skills are amazing. I remember at my first or second month in the business, somebody said, hey, do you have this pink lip liner? And I go, no, I have a raisin lip liner. If you don't want it, you can just go to the drugstore and get something else. My sales skills were amazing. Just absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
I know. It is crazy. People think they have to know it
Yeah.
all and do it all and have all the skill sets. Believe me, you will learn as you go, and you will, that experience and that growth is going to make you stronger in life, not just in the business, because I'm sure Bethany can attest to, raising children is a piece of cake to raising some of our unit members sometimes.
Oh goodness.
But
Oh.
we learn, and God blesses that learning. So, okay. So real quick, um, Bethany, we have some amazing consultants on watching us, and we've got some guests who are just curious and just want to kind of get their big toe wet, maybe. What would you say to the consultants? Just what would be a piece of advice you'd want to give consultants after building your business for, gosh, how many years? 20 years? Almost 20?
Yeah, coming up on lucky 13. So, so what I would say for sure is, stay plugged in to your Mary Kay family, stay plugged into what is available for you on Mary Kay in Touch, stay plugged into, hashtag my MK life on social media, stay plugged in to the $1,000,000 message if that's something that you listen to. I mean, just stay plugged in, because there's so much more in Mary Kay than just the business skills, than just the sales skills. There's so much that you learn that affects how you are a wife, how you are a mother, how you are a daughter, how you even work at your other workplace. I was talking with my offspring sales director. We met while we were teachers, and she now just picked up her third pink Cadillac, and so we even talked about how, like, we were not going to go back to teaching. We're in Mary Kay forever, but if we did, there's so much that we would take into the classroom that we have gotten from Mary Kay that would affect the way. So just know that this is such a fertile ground for personal growth. And, whether you earn a car, become a director, become a top director, national sales director, whatever it is, just know that by being in this ground, you blossom in so many areas of your life. And there's so many blessings in that. Yeah.
I know. I just thought you couldn't be in Mary Kay for 20 years because you would have started when you were 10.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, what would you say to our guests? Like, if you could just tell them one thing, what would be their takeaway from your journey, your experience, or just your heart?
Yeah. So when I was considering joining Mary Kay, I thought about it for like 2 weeks, and it was absolute misery to think about it for 2 weeks and wonder if I should do this or not do this. I mean, I was just making myself crazy. I was making my husband crazy. I was making my mom crazy. And I remember being on the phone with my Aunt Audrey. She was my recruiter, and telling her all these reasons why, that we're moving in a year. I don't have the time. I'm writing my thesis right now. I don't really like sales. Like, all of these reasons why. But obviously I was interested because I was talking to her. You know what I mean? Like, if I wasn't interested, like, the conversation would have been over, but we were still having the conversation. And finally she said, Bethany, you are never going to know unless you try. Like, you keep on circling around all of these questions and all of these issues, but you're never going to know unless you try. And so if you're in a conversation right now about should I or shouldn't I, and you're never going to know unless you try. You will never come to the conclusion in your own head. You've got to walk it out. You've got to try it. You've got to break out of that comfort zone, grow a little bit, be brave a little bit, see what is there for you. Take a peek inside that starter kit and just take a look. But you'll never know unless you actually do it. And I encourage you to do it. I think it may change your life. It may not, but you'll never know unless you do it. So yeah.
Well, I just want to show our guest real quickly before we stop. I want to show you guys and what our little professional screen share here. This is what the starter kit options look like. And this is kind of a new concept since COVID that Mary Kay's come out with. It's called an e-start. Bethany, can you just tell them a little bit about the e-start?
Yeah, absolutely. So I love this. I love this eStart. What you the eStart is $30 first of all. So just like consider what you spend $30 on that like does not change your life, right? I mean, I tell people I'm like, man, my time of the month comes and I could drop, $30 on getting my supplies and that's not changing my life. But for $30, what you have is access to a personalized website. I know it's probably too much information. And a credit card processing for 1 year. That's all built in. So you are set up to sell virtually. You just pass out that website to people and there you go, you're selling online. You have access to your back office to Mary Kay in Touch, which is where you order product, it's where you learn about product, it's where you realize the contest, the recognition, everything that's there, like the training, everything is there. They have apps, so many apps for your phone that help you sell and professional and be organized everywhere. Digital marketing tools, customer support, and online step-by-step education. And what isn't on here is you also have access to an entire community of other consultants and sales directors. We have a saying in Mary Kay that you're in business for yourself, but never by yourself. So here you can have your own independent business, your own, your own business, but you're not on your own to have to figure it out. There's mentorship, there is guidance, and there is support and encouragement built in every step of the way.
And like, just to give you an example, when directors move from one location to another, I have directors contact me and say, you've moved 8 times with your business. What did you do? And to share that information and to have that network where we can share those experiences, where Bethany has consultants and directors contact her and say, oh my word, how did you keep running your business with a newborn and you're not getting any sleep? And we come alongside people and really walk with them. So thank you for sharing that. That is, I think that's the most important part of all. And then the second option is called the full starter kit and the eStart. And this is everything that Bethany just talked about. Plus you get a starter kit. And this is for people who might want to do face-to-face appointments or actually show the product. So like if I were talking about a product, I would actually be able to hold it up virtually in the camera or do face-to-face. And then that is actually worth $400. And then we actually even have a sample pack add-on that you can do now, that's just completely optional. But it's, if you're thinking, well, I want to mail samples to people before we have our virtual parties, that's an option as well. So I think these options are just amazing. And if you think about it, Bethany pointed out $30. Gosh, you can spend that just walking in the front door at Walmart or Target. But the starter kit, to get all those products, that is absolutely amazing because you're getting $400 worth of full-size products and you will use them if nothing else. And so what we want to do is, I think everybody, Bethany, at this point is kind of in one or two categories. They're either like, who do I know? Let me think. And so we're going to call you a talent scout. And if you will say, yes, I will be a talent scout for my consultant, I will be thinking about who do I know could use more freedom, flexibility, financial choices, who could really use this business. Refer them to us. And when they become a qualified beauty consultant in our unit, then you will get $50 in Mary Kay product as a referral fee because we don't have a human resources department. We don't have ads in the paper that say Mary Kay consultants wanted. We depend on our customers to refer people who know that they would fit in our culture, that they may have a need. They may want more girlfriends, really. I mean, just something to belong to. And for less than the price of joining Costco or Sam's Club, they can be a part of this amazing company. Or you may say, well, forget my friends, I want to be a part of this. Okay, well, we like that too. If you've been invited to watch this video or to share anything on Shy Power of Pink, then your consultant thinks that you are worthy of being considered to join our unit. And so we would love to chat with you about that. So the last thing we want you to do is we want you to take what's called the pink pillow test. Now, you don't have to go out and buy a new pink pillow, but we want you tonight, before you go to sleep, we want you to say a little prayer and say, God, lay on my heart what you want for me to do. And I would love to know, when you go to bed tonight and you wake up in the morning, what did you dream? Did you dream of pink Cadillacs? Did you dream of running on the beach with your kids in your spare time, your free time? Did you dream of designing your own life? Did you dream of picking up the keys to a car, or maybe providing a great vacation for your family, or even just getting your hair and nail done and not have to tap into your credit card for it? You know, did you dream of joining our amazing company? Or did you not? Did you say, well, I just didn't really dream? Well, I want you to call your consultant first thing in the morning, and I want you to say one of two things. Either, hey, consultant, well, you can call her by her name. Hey, consultant, this is so and so, and I want to be part of your Mary Kay world. Or you say, hey, I would love to be a talent scout for you. And I want you to consider one more thing, be a hostess for your consultant. The greatest compliment you can pay your consultant is to invite your friends to be in her space, virtually or in person, whichever you're more comfortable with. The great thing about virtually is you can have a girls' night out, or a girls' morning out, or a girls' day out with friends from all over the country, because we have no territories in Mary Kay. Isn't that awesome? So that's your job.
Yeah.
Pink pillow test. Go to bed tonight, say a little prayer, ask for some revelation, wake up in the morning and call your consultant. And we will be doing the drawing from all the comments below on Saturday morning. So you might just be winning a really fun pink prize. Well, Bethany, I want to thank you for your time. It is so precious. And I know that you are just such an amazing woman. I love you dearly. You are just, when I see you at Mary Kay events, I'm like, Bethany! And it's like we saw each other yesterday. And that is the beauty of the friendship and the relationships we build in Mary Kay, is we are all there for each other. And we can go days, weeks, months without actually speaking and pick up the phone and say, hey, girlfriend, I need to chat. And we are there for each other. So
Right.
I just want to close by thanking Bethany, and y'all just snaps to her, and let's just keep her in our prayers. And as she's raising three little ones and a husband. And
Yes, always.
yes, and we just appreciate you so very much. And I would love to tell some funny stories on you, but we don't have time. But maybe next time I'll tell some funny stories, like how her husband changed his
That would be fun.
name.
That's a funny story. And how we met. There's a lot of funny stories regarding Max. So
Gosh, you guys, that's a whole nother conversation. But they are just a precious, precious couple, and they have such a strong faith in God and a faith in each other, and they're just beautiful to watch. So y'all have a great day, have a great evening, and thank you so much for being a part of Shite Power of Pink and Superstar Search.